In Season 1, Episode 5 of Severance, we are gifted with a scene where one of the coworkers at Lumen, Irving, comes across a very specific clue about the world outside of the office. The scene uses color, lighting, angles, and shot changes in intricate yet noticeable ways to convey the significance of this moment. While the viewers are given the context behind the actual object itself and how it ended up at Lumen, the scene represents a tone shift within the character Irving and sets into motion the plot structure for the rest of the season. Following this moment, the characters begin to change their ideas about working at Lumen and band together to distance themselves from the work environment that aims to keep them trapped. Irving himself is known as a rule follower and tends to border on devout when it comes to the Lumen beliefs. Previous to the scene we are dissecting, however, it's important to add that he was spending time with his work crush, Bert G. During their time together, their hands touch and something is lit up within Irving. The scene following this involves the main characters, Mark and Helly. Mark is sitting at his desk and sneakily looking at the map that PD had drawn up in the office. Helly approaches him to say that she is making progress on work. These two key moments show how the characters are evolving and changing their minds about the practices at Lumen. The scene itself involves Irving walking down the brightly lit hallways of Lumen. The camera follows him closely and the framing remains in a full shot and at times shifts into a long shot. The walls of the hallway and the movement of the camera create a shifting and obfuscation to the viewer's perspective. The walls are used as a device for the shots to swipe into one another. The camera moves backwards quickly. We can hear the movement of the camera ever so slightly in the background, and it makes a swoosh noise as it passes by the walls, as opposed to previous scenes where the hallways and moving through them felt orderly and precise. As Irving is walking, he shakes his head and makes an expression that is worried. One would assume that he is caught up in his head about the moment he shared with Bert and what to make of it. All of these components together create a moment as if Irving is walking through a portal. After Irving walks by for a couple of moments, the camera stops when he does. He is standing outside a meeting room with glass walls and the colors shift from bright whites and grays to include a lighter blue. The shot cuts to the camera positioned in the opposite direction. It begins as a close shot of Irving as he turns his head and blinks a couple of times. His expression is one of disbelief and bewilderment. The music changes from the usual in-between elevator music to strings that add a sense of intrigue and fear. He begins to walk into the meeting room when the shot changes again with another cut. This time, the camera is inside of the meeting room at a low Dutch angle. We assume that the point of view is meant to be that of the object that Irving saw. Suddenly, it switches to a static shot of the mystery object, the UUR by Rick and Hale. It sits innocently on the conference room chair. The chair and the flooring are the same deep blue, and the book is highly contrasting with its orange hue. The shot only lasts a couple of seconds, but it stands out as memorable because of the use of color. The offices at Lumen are incredibly sterile and eerie. This is mainly due to the high contrast lighting and the low contrast of the coloring. This sudden shot brings life into the scene. It's as if everything has changed. We then see Irving standing in the meeting room with his fingers twitching. This cuts to the camera being back outside of the meeting room. Irving walks away from the book and to the doorway. He peers out into the hallway as if he is looking to see if anyone can see him. The imagery of the moment is able to convey the role that Irving plays in the uprising scene at the end of the season, which is ultimately as the final puzzle piece to making it happen. When he finds the book, he has no idea where it came from and no idea what to do with it. The shift here is that instead of immediately taking it to Harmony, he brings it to his closest coworkers. The moment when he peers into the hallways is what clues us into the idea that his mindset has shifted about workplace procedure. The scene where Irving finds the book, the UUR, makes incredible use of camera movements and cuts, differing shots and angles that shift alongside the character, and introduces an intense coloring that comes together to show how both the character and the object play huge roles in the penultimate parts of the plot.